yesterday, this is the wildest trade I have seen in a while. Bleacher Report tossed out there, and I know it's Bleacher Report, but they're always tossing trades out there. Sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't, but everybody wants to talk about it, and this one caught fire. This one caught traction. Everybody started talking about it on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. I saw it all over Instagram. Everybody's talking about this, okay? Bleacher Report suggests a trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They look at Najee Harris as a guy that they can move on from right now, that it makes sense to move on from right now, and they look at the New York Giants as a team that can make an offer for him and say, hey, yeah, we have Devin Singletary, but we'll replace him with Najee Harris. We'll feel really good about it. And they just think, hey, look at with Jaylen Warren and Cordero Patterson, the Steelers have enough options. They can move on, blah, blah, blah. This is the trade, okay? I don't know. Do you know the trade? Did you look at the trade yet? You saw it ahead of time? All right. Yeah. All right. This is the trade for those of you who have not seen it. The Pittsburgh Steelers send Najee Harris to the New York Giants in exchange for a 2025 sixth-round draft pick and a 2026 fourth-round draft pick. I looked at that and said, okay, look, that can make a lot of sense if the Giants are giving up a second or a third round draft pick in 2026, and they're feeling, yeah, okay, sounds good. We'll backload that offer, whatever. Fourth round conditional that turns into a second if Najee Harris doesn't sign another contract. Who knows how it goes down? I can tell you this. There are two sides to this. No, it would never happen. The first side is Najee Harris is worth way more than a sixth and a fourth round pick. I'm sorry. You could have whatever outlook you have, whatever opinion you have on the running back market and how bad it is or how good it is. Najee Harris is worth a third round pick at the worst, and you'd probably get a third round pick for him without any issues because it's Omar Khan, and there are teams out there that are desperate enough to make a move for a guy who's 1,000-yard runner, and you could probably expect to be 1,000-yard runner again this season. The other side of that is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are hunting for a Super Bowl, and we need to, at some point, stop talking about trading Najee Harris because it's not going to happen. It's not ever going to happen. The Pittsburgh Steelers will let him walk in a year. They'll feel totally fine about it because there are certain guys that you trade. There are certain guys in certain situations that you look at and say, you get rid of him to make sure that you get value back for him before he walks for nothing. There are certain guys in certain situations where you look at it and say, you let him walk for nothing because you are not going to trade him and risk your team getting worse. Letting him walk is more worth it. And that is Najee Harris. Najee Harris may be one of two pieces to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense this year that works. One of two of them. The other one is his running mate, Jaylen Warren. If you get rid of one of them, you're down to one. Jaylen Warren, something happens. He's not as good as people expect him to be. Whatever. You're looking at Cordero Patterson, 33-year-old Cordero Patterson, and probably an Aaron Shumplin as your backup running backs. Just not happening. You're not trading Najee Harris. We need to stop talking about trading Najee Harris. I think there's a better, and you could disagree with me. I think there are better odds that the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Najee Harris to a deal next offseason than there are that they trade him this summer. Easy, hands down. I would put my money on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the odds are going to be very, very juicy, especially because they're going to be such long shot odds. I don't think either of those are going to happen, but certainly not a trade before this season because, like you mentioned it, you don't go Super Bowl or bust and then say, well, we're going to go and hand it to the guy that has not really ever been a feature back.
Yeah,
we both expect Jaylen Warren to have a good season, but there's no track record there. So if you're a front office, that is not a move that you make if you're going for a Super Bowl. And I think that's the missing piece of context that Bleacher Report didn't have is they didn't treat the Steelers as if they're a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl this year. Because if they did, then that trade would have never even came into their mind.
Yep, exactly. And Najee's a lot cheaper than Saquon Barkley. I get that. But like, what are the Giants trading a running back for? Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get Najee Harris to go win a Super Bowl in New York? Like, you going from fourth last to first with Daniel Jones? And I couldn't name a wide receiver on that team outside of Neighbors.
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen. It's not. It's just nonsense. Okay, it's just, and like it would be cool if it was nonsense, but it was like, oh, okay, that's a juicy one for the Steelers. The disrespect on Najee Harris's name there with the 6th round pick, man. I wish Najee like enjoyed goofing off with the media, because I would love to tell him, hey man, there are people out there that think you're worth a 6th round pick. Can I please have your reaction? Because I promise you it would be phenomenal. That guy has got he's got the best personality ever when he opens up, and that would be a good one. But
yeah, if he was Patrick Queen and he saw the same thing online, I would have loved to see the reaction to Najee Harris.
Rookie Najee Harris gets that question in front of him, and he just made every fan's day with how awesome the response is. That's how good it would be. So no chance. Sorry, Bleacher Report, ain't happening. Nada.